Hello, good friends. Welcome to the Smite Pro League. Game number 3, set number 2, spring, season 2, split 1. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia live. My name is Bart, that's Brandon. And we're just minutes away from game number 3, as I mentioned, out of set number 2.
That was a lot of things.
And game number 1 of week number 4.
This is my job.
Yeah, hey, and let's talk about the other guys' jobs that are doing the thing today, which is
the mid laners.
The mid laners
Cloud9
of
Denial.
Cloud9 and Denial.
That's a great idea.
Man, it's like you're in my head. Mace to the face. MLC stealth. Mace. Both of these guys have actually traded back and forth, having pretty dominant games. Mace to the face on that Isis was really excellent in the last game. Circle of Protection's doing a lot of damage in key situations, notably the Fire Giant.
He is the only player that uses it correctly.
Yeah, and as an area denial. And MLC Stealth has obviously played Hades a couple times, and game number 1 was a just absolute gem, and game number 2 he struggled a lot.
With that, we're going to be going into game 3 here. Let's jump into the P's and B's.
P's and B's.
Carbide CVs.
It's the picks and ban screen, guys, and the Smite Pro League is sponsored and powered by Curse Voice. Bottom of your screen is Denial with the first pick and ban. Top side is Cloud9 with the second, and bye-bye Bacchus.
Thor, Sylvanas. Gotta be the bans.
Those are the bans you're calling it?
Those are the bans. Thor and Sylvanas hit Xing, hit Shadow Q. They'll go deeper into their god pools. And while both of them have very deep, very good god pools, they are both hurt drastically by having their best gods taken away. Yeah,
we definitely haven't seen any Sylvanas in this matchup, nor will we, as it is banned out yet again. Shadow Q getting that respect ban out of Cloud9. Bastet taken away. So Denial banning a couple of Xing gods here.
Yeah, really.
Well, I guess Bacchus are not so popular
about the Bacchus
these days,
though. I mean, single-handedly won the early game, right?
Yeah.
It was Regurgitate. Athena getting taken away. Okay, I'm wrong. I mean, they can't let Athena through. I mean, that's just never a good idea.
So is it Thor first pick from Denial?
It's got to be. For the way that Xing played last game, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it's one of the better performances we've seen at Xing in a while, honestly, or at least that I've casted.
I mean, for the way that they played last game, you think, which one of these 5 gods would help us repeat? Okay, now which one of these 5 gods is going to be a first pick for Cloud9?
Yeah.
Thor gets locked in. Unsurprisingly, Cloud9 answers back. Do they pick up the Gebi, or are they afraid of it?
Yeah, so back to Xing's performance last game is that it's one of the rare games you see at Xing where he doesn't just kill a bunch of people and get ahead and dictate the pace of the game that way. It was really kind of more in that initiator, counter-initiator role.
It's almost like Xing is like playing Smite now.
It's almost like he's playing with a team now.
Right, instead of just playing like... It looks like he's questing normally. He just runs around and does like quest hubs. Get experience here, get this buff, get a kill. Get an item because I completed my quest.
Look at him, there he is.
That's how he plays.
Look,
wow, all right, so he did pick Geb.
Face of a madman. So, yeah, Geb selected right away. I think Jeff was like, I don't want to play Bacchus again. Like after that last game, anything but Bacchus maybe was a thought here, and it's Geb Xbalanque, which was the powerhouse duo lane that somehow outpushed Bacchus on her in game number 1.
With that, we're going to see them go into, wow, really early Hercules coming out. And then option still will be Bacchus. Okay.
Okay, yeah, why not? Hercules Bacchus. So that means Hercules is... We've seen him play in the jungle in North America a few times.
Option here to Cloud9. Okay, Serqet. Wow, okay, really great play here. This is going to give them a great early game and great mid game. Just getting Xbalanque on board.
Yeah, Xbalanque plus Serqet definitely brings a lot of that late game potential. And, okay, so this just in. The picks are opposite.
Yeah, Xing is going to be getting Serqet. Madman Mark will be getting Xbalanque.
Give us a second, guys.
And then Bacchus and Hercules will be going the other way around to Cloud9.
Yeah, so you will see that reflected in just a moment here, guys. But still, Hercules...
Especially if your monitor's very clean.
Hercules, Bacchus, Thor, still the first 3 picks on the side of Cloud9. I get it.
Okay.
I don't like you. But
all right.
Hercules, Bacchus. So Jeff goes back to the Bacchus. What a guy. I mean... After a beating like that, to be like,
if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Let's just run it back. I mean, just take some chutzpah.
That's something that doesn't happen enough in any MOBA. Is the
hey!
run back.
Look at that.
Oh wait, so Andy is Thor? Oh wow. That's a big change.
Thorndinster.
But like I was saying, this is something that doesn't happen enough in MOBAs. Sometimes you're going to lose. That doesn't mean the comp was bad. That doesn't mean the pick was bad. It means sometimes you lose. I've seen the best players in every video game lose sometimes with some of their best picks. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No one's invincible.
So now that it's Hercules Bacchus, calling it now, is it Hercules in the solo lane for sure, no question?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's a Thor, so where else?
Thor, jungle, Bacchus, they're all set. I mean, maybe they'll switch Thor Hercules, but I mean, there's just no competitive value in that.
So it's Isis yet again. Oh!
Production messed up again? Is that real?
Is that a real Zeus?
Is that... okay, sorry. Okay, Zeus gets locked in.
All right, so mid-camps gaming. That's the only conceivable reason
Is that a Neith?
in the history of the world that you would ever pick Zeus in the current state in Smite competitive.
It's Neith.
Now, Neith brings global presence, synergized heavily with the Thor, a lot of lockdown.
I think they're even picks.
Generally, yeah.
I don't think any one's is better than the other.
I do. I think that there's more fringe situations with the Neith makes sense. Bastet Neith especially, very, very, very strong.
Neither one of those characters is going to do very well against Vamana.
But young Zeus, well, old Zeus here. We'll see if he uses the young Zeus skin. But what is Zeus good at? He's really good at mid camps.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's like Yang getting the 3-minute mid camps. There's no way. Chain Lightning will just destroy you outright. But he struggles besides that in terms of kill potential, really. Also farm. He's just not very good at those things. He is, however, pretty good against melees. So we'll see how he does do against that Serqet and Vamana. It seems like Serqet's got a lot of kill potential against a Zeus mid.
I am most interested to see what Cloud9 is going to do here against the impending Denial Invade. And subsequently, am very just curious on why Zeus. Agni was open.
Well, one
of
these teams is going to win this game, and we can ask the player that we interview, why Zeus? I actually heard a little bit of whisperings through the grapevine that Zeus was something that a lot of teams are taking a look at. And it is, as I indicated, basically you can't get the mid-camps. Like, there's just no way you can fight on a Chain Lightning. He basically guarantees the trade. And often you can put Zeus +1 and then 2 at the other camp and secure them more often than not. So
Zeus was the best character in the game at one point. 100% pick ban rate, did amazingly in the games that he was picked in. The reason that he has not been picked anymore is because his detonate charge no longer stuns, right? But his damage wasn't nerfed.
Right.
If he hits you, you're going to feel
it. Oh, yeah, if you get locked down by something like, say, a global stun out of a Neith, you're still in a lot of trouble. This also could be the old commentator's curse. It's entirely possible this was supposed to be a Jean Quaini misclick. And we're sitting here waxing philosophical about why it may be the Zeus. It's happened before, but and this one I do want to say.
Now, Bart, just refresh me. Do they have a reset clause? Like, we locked in this character by accident.
I believe it's at the discretion of the other team.
Wow.
I think I believe so. We can get some admin clarification on that.
If that was me, I'd be like, nah, bro.
Yeah, you're keeping that Zeus. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get started here. Duo lanes and solo lanes with the duo presence have been met up. Mid laners are back with a advantage for Isis here, unsuspectingly. Zeus not very good in the clear department. Also not very good in the escape department, which could be troublesome as Xing rotates over.
I mean,
oh, wow, look at that.
There's not really a lot of departments that Zeus is great at, besides, like, here's 2 of you, and I cast Chain Lightning and then explode you. It's like he's like the exact opposite of what we saw last game out of the Hades, right? It's like the inverse style of play. Instead of being this like tanky frontline initiator, you're a squishy backline counter initiator,
right?
Or secondary wave initiator, burst damage mage. So can MLC Stealth adjust to it that quickly? And can they find the lockdown inside of his ultimate with the Thor Neith combination, which is really what it seems like it's going to come down to.
Thor Wall can do a lot here, especially against a character like Vamana who can walk out so freely. Being able to lock him down inside the jungle is going to be a big deal. Not to mention they have the boulder presence as well. Oh, Omega getting slammed.
And that's kind of the point here, right? It's like they've gone for that 4 protect 1 strategy again, which seems to be a lot of what Cloud9 is like. They seem to like this idea of really one character is our focus this game to be our damage dealer. And here you can see what they've done. They've drafted a Zeus and basically, effectively, we'll call it best in slot CC from every other character in their respective roles.
Yeah, I mean, Neith has a root, an attack speed slow, a slow, and a stun. right? That's huge.
Yeah, Hercules, man of many CCs. Bacchus, 2 types of CC as well. Not to mention Thor, obviously, with 2 of his own. So it's a lot of CC.
Bacchus has 3, too, actually, if you count Intoxicate.
Yeah,
and I do.
That's fair. You do. I do, too.
Man, that just sucks to be hit by. It's
Yes.
like the absolute worst ability to be hit by.
So, yeah, I mean, Hades and Zeus, the brothers of Greek mythology, the preferred picks for...
If you can't win with
MLC
one, I guess he'll
Stealth.
try to win with the other, is the mindset.
I guess. You know, but no Poseidon. Of the 3, Poseidon definitely the one that's most popular, and he's gone skirted around.
He was banned.
Fair enough.
That counts, right?
Yeah, that's I guess.
But I'm surprised that he made it through picks and bans as far as he did.
But we are going to see probably the biggest disparity between 2 members of their respective roles in the late game here. Neith, definitely unequivocally, or inequivocally, with no equivocation, the worst late game hunter in the game.
By a mile.
And Xbalanque, the best.
Yeah. Again, by a mile. Ult coming out. Big trouble here for Mace. Just barely alive, but a clean pickup there as the detonate charge will spell first blood for Cloud9.
That looked easy. You know, they just kind of piled in there. And
it took 4 people, though.
Yeah, I mean, but it belly flop onto Isis, Thor wall, Intoxicate, burp, no healing for you, detonate as well. I mean, it just...
You didn't even mention the Neith ult.
Eh.
That Neith ult locked him down.
Yeah, but this is right the name of the game for Cloud9. And again,
Ooh,
I want to call it pocket strategy, but maybe just style play out of Cloud9. Like we're gonna make them play our game in game 1 and game 3. So far, it's been very successful through the early game, but
it also could be I got engaged and don't care anymore, and I will play Zeus now.
That's true. It could be a little bit of that Bay relaxation mode.
Yeah. Oh, man. But, I mean,
locked her in.
It's hard to say Stealth hasn't been performing well. He had a weak game in Game 2, but Game 1 he was incredible in. Now, we haven't seen Zeus in a while, and again, I think we're over... Did all 3 of them just get hit by that spear ball?
Yeah, and that's one thing we didn't really consider is that, well, Serqet has to just kind of stay and channel her ultimate onto a single target, and Zeus can just stack up.
It's like, yeah, man, keep doing that, please, as I apply these lightning balls to your face.
Yeah, and there's just no world in which Serqet survives detonate.
No way.
With 3 stacks in the early game.
One of the squishiest gods in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, diving in.
Hey.
Second blood here.
Sir.
Third blood. That's 3 kills all for Stealth? Oh, that's trouble.
Oh, he went for the ultimate as well, but didn't get the detonate. It was a little bit lack of coordination there, honestly, out of the side of Cloud9. But what that does do is let him throw out 1 chain lightning, detonate, and clear this wave damn quick if he elects to. Vamana going to get smacked around a bit by Omega. There's maybe a little bit more at home with this Hercules than he was with the tier.
No ultimate available here for Omega as opposed to Vamana. Both of them are going to have a decent amount of mana to be able to fight here. You can see Best not only has the blue stone pendant, but the blue buff as well. Omega still about 20 seconds until the boulder comes up. He's going to retreat back to his jungle and try to just play it safe.
Whew. That XP, though. Best just looking really pretty as well, but
really
725 out of Zeus, leading all players with those early kills. 3 to his credit for MLC Stealth. And well, it looks like it's going to be a Warlock sash at him, so a little bit of this little combat Zeus out of MLC, it looks like here. Not going to go for the glass cannon.
You're saying to me that Stealth is building a Warlock sash?
I know, mind blown, but...
Can't believe it.
Normally, it's not a Warlock sash on the back of a... Well, I guess it is. Never mind. He always builds this item, but...
Yeah, for those of you joining us for maybe the first time this season, Stealth builds this on every single god that he plays, doesn't matter what happens. Like, he just loves the item. He loves being tanky, loves being able to stay in the front line a little bit longer than other mages because he trusts himself to hit everything.
Well, here we go. Mid-camp's coming back up around the 6-minute, 15-second mark or so.
I think they're calling to kill for ShadowQ, but ShadowQ's going to walk over a ward there and be spotted going for backcamps. Left side guaranteed, going there to Cloud9. Right side looks like going to Shing.
For now, nope, driving strike. We'll have that. Thank you.
Trouble, Shing. No, not going to take enough. He'll jump over the wall. But they do lose both mid-camps there. Cloud9 already 3 kills ahead, extend their lead. 1,500 gold, 1,500 experience, 1,600 gold. And with that, we should note that we did see Denial have this kind of lead in Game 1, which was thrown. So it's not to say that Cloud9 has won this game just yet.
A little curious on Anderson's build, going for the Berserker's Barrage over their Mjolnir's attunement burst build, given that it is a mid-lane glass cannon like Zeus. What do you think about this? Right call or no?
Garz chooses the same thing. They prefer to have that static damage and guarantee it for the team. team comparatively to players like Xing who prefer to just get that one big hit, trying to just make sure that the fight ends with that one Mjolnir's attunement. He likes it more for mobility. Andy is known as a player who can just jump around very, very quickly.
I'm guessing that it's because of how much CC is part of this composition that they are perfectly happy to have that damage coming out over time out of the Berserker's Barrage because they have so much lockdown to kind of accommodate for the fact that the Thor's not bringing the burst. Just the thunder and the lightning out of the Thor, not the burst today. Taking a look at the game and around the map here, 7.5 minutes in, 3 kills to nothing in favor of Cloud9 still. No gold for taken so far in this contest, but you got to think that's where they're thinking as, well, Denial starts shading over that way to try to sniff it out a bit. Xbalanque and Neith still going toe-to-toe, but Barracuda made his name for himself on this Neith here, so we should expect him to be pretty proficient at dealing with Xbalanque by Madman Mark, and does have a bit of an experience advantage to his credit.
Although not a huge one, Madman Mark needs 1 creep to hit level 10, Barracuda about 3 creeps in, so it's not like the end of the world, right? But sure, it's still Xbalanque falling behind Neith. You could even make the argument that she should be farther ahead at this stage. I mean, her best advantage in the early game is that her wave clear is basically uncontested. Yeah, but what he doesn't have in experience, he does have in gold. Nearly 700 gold to his credit. Yeah, that's true.
Just the 1 assist. It's all just last hits, dude. It's what Neith does versus a Xbalanque, right? She can just clear the wave so effectively with the reverse clearing, or even just straight up clearing, as you see here. I guess you can break that down for the viewer at home if you want to.
You know, we talked about this a few days ago and a little bit again this morning. CS is something that is extremely undervalued in Smite. Getting the last hits does increase your gold, and when you're actually pushing as hard as he is, getting those last hits stripped away, I mean, it's huge.
Holy moly, it's 24. He's up 24 last hits. I mean,
now
6 minions a wave. That's 4 waves of last hits that he's gotten that Madman Mark hasn't.
Now, we should also consider, like, are those last hits being counted as he's not getting gold from tower, or is the game counting last hits even if they're not worth gold?
I would suspect yes.
So the disparity might be bigger.
It could be in terms of gold, yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the difference between a last hit and not a last hit, assuming the tower doesn't hit, is only 33%. So even those 24 minions that he has, let's say they're worth 20 gold each, right? It's only working out to about, what, 60 gold. So it's... While it puts him ahead, this is more, I think, as you're mentioning there, it's more about his ability to control the lane, the creep equilibrium, and force those waves into the tower while still getting last hits to his credit.
And this is what Neith does, and he's doing it well so far. You know, he's got the 60 stacks online. He's already got the Ninja Tabby, which is a little strange to me. I really expected him to go into the Warrior Tabby here, considering Neith is more of like a bursty kind of character. But with the Ninja Tabby, this spells out a very clear path for Barracuda. He's looking to get to the end game faster than Madman Mark, to the point where he will not only be able to box him, but he's going to build likely a very similar build and look to get the kill.
You think it's Iqbal next for the Neith?
It could be Iqbal, could be Executioner. It's going to depend, I think, on... I guess there's just too many factors, honestly.
They're going to try to make a plan of Shadow Cube, but he's going to roll out in time. Annister, Anvil of Dawn is going to be down for a bit. What do you think about chin size underneath this game?
Unlikely. It's possible, but it's unlikely.
It's very ability-based. It's unlikely. That item doesn't have a lot of power, but with the already attack speed, well, he may be taking
in trouble.
Oh, yeah, you're dead. Tried to just fire off the ultimate to see if he could set anything up basically there, but nothing cooking. And so likely to be the Iqbal, I would say now after that early death. Needs to get another. Needs to get a bridge item now.
I like the rotation coming out from Xing. Barra went just for too long on Concesses, sitting at that tower, stripping away Madman Mark's gold. And with that, Madman Mark's going to have a little bit of a boost, still about 800 gold behind, which at this stage is pretty fantastic. I mean, I'm not really sure how Barracuda has managed such a serious lockdown.
11 minutes in here. It's 3 kills to 1. Cloud9 stalled out a little bit. Denial takes one back from them just there. But it's been the Bacchus basically dictating the pace of this game, setting up a lot of those kills. 2 of them definitely for MLC Stealth in the mid lane. The third was a group effort, but he's kind of relied on Neith's inherent clear to maintain the wave on the left side and has really been focusing on pressuring that mid lane more and more. So you see that pan out a little bit as Neith does take a spill, but we'll see what the boys of Cloud9 can do now as they still maintain about a 2,000 gold lead through 11.5.
MLC a little under 300 gold away from being able to finish up. Oh, and he's going to back. Before the Warlock Sash is ready, doesn't really have anything to sell here, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to choose to stick around a little while longer, whether that was for the gold or whether it was for the rotation to the possible attempt at the Gold Fury. I don't see them going for it just yet.
Denial does clean up a ward there, so they have the vision advantage, at least for the moment. Does Barracuda have any ward? No, Anderson does have a counter ward, though, so they can go ahead and take care of that one at the Gold Fury and get back that positional advantage. Man, Mark does have a Century Boost credit as well. Here comes Initiation in the mid lane. It's a beautiful one from Denial. They get basically everything they want. They kill, I'm sorry, this is the left side lane. They kill Barracuda. In comes the Thor, but Anderson is not going to be able to do too much except for cut off that escape route from Geb and try to build some time, I'm sorry, for MLC Stealth to make it in, but it's just a clean pick for Denial there. Second on to Barracuda in as many minutes. You
know, that's the second time that we've seen Barracuda fall. And, you know, I can't say I'm too surprised. Neith, not a character that's known for her escape ability, while Backflip has one of the strongest and quickest startups, given the fact that she's off the ground almost instantaneously.
Yep.
It has probably the weakest landing of any jump in the entire game, being very slow, very predictable. You can't space it. It's just, it will go this set distance every time.
Yeah, near instant startup. It was nerfed through the kind of beta process to be not actually instant, but near instant. And it also slows in front of you. What was once kind of the bar none best escapability in the entire game has since been outclassed by traditional leaps as players have kind of learned to use them better and better.
Yeah. I mean, and people have learned to counter the backflip from Neith as well.
Yeah, really well.
Actually, a very terrible matchup against Sylvanas because he can react.
Right,
and
just pull reaction, yeah.
Every single time. It's almost like a Halo snipe. Want to give it out to Gandhi. Right in the beginning of Halo, jumps were considered very strong. They were utilized a lot. And then later on, as Halo got better and better, they realized that the jump hang time was a little bit too clean and that snipes would happen every time. With that, we're going to get a quick time out here coming out from the boys on Denial.
Yeah, Shane going to pause the game there real quick. We'll be back into this one in just a second, guys. But so far, it's been Cloud9, the early momentum. It stalled out a bit. 2 more kills coming the way of Denial, trying to get themselves back into this one. But they haven't really done much in terms of getting that gold or experience advantage or whittling away at what is on the side of Cloud9.
Well, Cloud9, to the same point, had a 3-kill advantage. Suddenly it's 3-2. Granted, they still have a decent golden experience lead. But at the same time, it seems like there's a few chinks in the armor. And Denial has been doing a great job of just exploiting that weakness. Let's
get back into this one. I think, yeah, it's safe to say, even with that explosive early game start, that still anyone's game advantage Cloud9, but Denial, they're looking good.
All right, there, Omega's just barely going to get back to base here. Over on the left side, it looks like Barracuda and MLC Stealth are going to try to go for it. Andy trying to keep distance out. ShadowQ is not going to make it in easily. It's going to be up to Xing to try to get into the back line, but no. Wow, that was quick.
That was a, well, they're paused.
Xing is
what
in
are we
trouble.
going to do here? Yeah, they're going to try to fight into this choke. Zeus has pretty decent positioning. Anderson's got to go blind over the wall, but he finds 2. Where is the follow-up? Neith ultimate comes out on the Geb. There's an ultimate from the Zeus as well. Madman Mark does clean up Anderson, but they're going to get at least 1 in return as ShadowQ goes down to MLC Stealth. But they give away the kill to the Xbalanque. It's a brilliant route, though, by the Neith to hold him out of the fight as Vamana rotates in. That one could have turned ugly very, very quickly for Cloud9.
Vamana's chasing. No, he's going to let it go. This is not the stage of the game where Vamana is extremely dominant. He's not going. He does have his sprint 3 up, but he used it way too soon to try to rotate over. And with that, it'll be a 1-for-1 trade. But Cloud9 maintains a Gold Fury advantage now, and with that, the gold and experience advantage as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can never count anybody out of this one, as that fight basically is split. It seems like more or less a little bit to the advantage of Cloud9 as it comes off the back of their successful Gold Fury attempt, but. It all goes back to wise words from Anderson that everyone has little trash cannons there in them. You know, it's failure is always an option, as Stu would say.
So I want to take a look here at the charts, Kevin. Not the gold charts. Let's take a look at player damage. Now, this is interesting to me because Neith is second on this list, and I would not have expected that. Take a look at that, 4,600 damage. That's I mean, 3 ultimates so far.
Sure, it's 1,200 damage, probably a little less.
But I mean, far and away. Look at Stealth, man. 6K.
Sure, but yeah. I mean, this is a make Stealth do damage kind of game. I mean, that's like
so far the strategy's working out.
So why not Scylla? Like that's, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to hit this like kind of slow projectile #1 ability that sets up your other stuff. Well, Sickham's pretty damn good at that.
Yeah, Sikkim can hit 3 people. Right?
I think it's just the ISIS matchup. They just don't want to put something that has such poor clear against an ISIS. But
they're looking for an answer for Mace, and that's what it is.
Yeah, they tried the Hades a couple times, and now it's the Zeus to counter that Both of them just big
Shadow
circles
Q's
to
low.
counter. Yeah,
So is Xing.
But they go for the damage dealers in the back line. Does Andenster healing up a little bit, but the silence doesn't come through. Can they find Geb underneath the tower? I'm not sure they know he's there. No vision. They can't see the walls like we can.
During Gold Fury, during Fire Giant, during Tower Push, the positioning from Denial is unbelievably strong. During regular team fights, there's too much hand-holding.
I think Best is going to go down here, clear the path. Is it enough? No, it is not. Teleporting forward is Mjolnir and Thor with it, but MLC Stealth getting credit for that one with a detonate. And then, well, Zeus also got a pretty decent answer to mid-game Vamanas. You know, you try to bail out and clear the path, well, you still can't do anything about those lightning stacks.
Yeah, it's true. And look at this. Best opting into Midgardian Mail at this stage of the game against what? I mean, is he looking to slow Zeus?
I guess attack speed on the Zeus plus the attack speed boots on Nemesis. Or on,
see you later, Stealth. That was greedy.
Yeah.
He backed in the middle of the lane there thinking he was hot stuff with his 4-0.
Well, he had a lane ward, right? I mean, he had the lane ward. He was like, I'm safe. But then he didn't realize they also had a lane ward.
Well, Stealth gets grabbed out there. That's a big, big win there for Xing. That's a 5-0 that he killed right there. Yeah,
it's good. But, I mean, the bounties in Smite are not that aggressive, honestly.
That's fair.
Like, what it netted him is mostly XP. The gold, fairly moderate, to be honest.
But with that, Xing, 2-1-2 right now. 7,700 gold, decent. Third highest on his team. Xbalanque at 8K. We're seeing Best, of course, at 86. But, I mean, look at the rest. We're going to see Omega at 93 right now. I have no idea how he's so far ahead of Stealth.
Yeah, wow.
Just farm boys.
Well, that's what Omega's really known for. And you heard it out, Azalea.
Yeah.
It's basically the perspective of the solo laner.
I can get an entire creep wave here.
I could go fight, or I could farm.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, I love farming.
If you're a fan of MMOs, you will love the solo lane.
It's like a little idiocracy. You know, I like money. I'm going to stay and farm.
Oh, man. All right, so we're getting close to 20 minutes. No one really gesturing towards the Fire Giant just yet as we enter the mid-game here, as people are going to start much heavier rotations. What is happening here with Stealth?
They're just going to say, you don't get to come to the lane, Xbalanque. Like, they literally just did half of his HP tower underneath his tier 2.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to the lane. Now Neith is going to bully you, because Gold Fury's coming back up. Actually makes a lot of sense.
He has less than 200 gold. He just got back.
I mean, hey, look, Gold Fury's coming back up, and now Xbalanque is going to have a very hard time fighting.
Madman Mark needs to choose to either go in or go home. Those are his only options. If he waffles the way that he is, it's going to be another free Gold Fury. In fact, I can't imagine a universe right now where they drop this.
Yeah, look at where Geb trending to the right side. They want to secure that orange buff with the Serqet.
Actually, are they going to go for fire?
No way. They don't have a hunter. They can't do enough damage. There's no damage items on to Best.
They're going for fire.
Oh.
And Omega's going to walk over. Omega's not going to walk over.
He likes the farm. We already went through this.
My God.
But do they have enough damage? It's going to take them a while to whittle this guy down. You see him getting down about 80% now. But Circle of Protection is going to chunk it. It's going to take out 20% of the HP when it does go down. There it is, now down to 55%.
Oh my God, Omega doesn't recognize
They got to realize there's nobody on the map. Where the hell are they farming, boys? Someone go look.
He just realized. It's too late. It's too late.
But they may be able to clean this up on the backside. He gets stunned out by the spear ball through the wall. Brilliantly placed by Mace to the face. Thor is up, and they have a choke opportunity.
Got one.
Doesn't matter. Omega already finds one. There comes the sun down. Will he be able to make this one back? No, trying to bail now is the Thor, but in comes Bacchus Intoxicate as well. Can they clean up Vamana? Too tanky for now. Fire Giant buff successfully taken. They lose Shadow Q in the process, but that is a fine price to pay.
Okay, so for me, this is a big deal. The issue, though, is that they've lost their support, and without that support sustained, they're really not going to have a level of tower presence that they're going to need to fight down. At this point, they're still so far behind in experience that this winds up being normalized. The only difference here is that they only gained 750 gold, and they dropped a kill for 1,500 gold, and another 1,500 gold as they drop the tier 2.
It's a risky business coming out of Cloud9 there. As they aggress onto the tier 2, they will be able to get it as the backdoor protection falls. But Denial does have the Fire Giant buff. Cloud9 still looks like they're willing to fight.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be deterred at this point. The gold lead that they have more than overshadows the Fire Giant, not to mention the experience difference as well. They can handle 3 minutes, 4 minutes of this. They shouldn't have too much trouble here, not with how much damage Mixed Stealth is throwing out.
And not with how much turtle they have with that lightning storm out of Zeus. Right, I mean, you can kind of just drop that on this tier 1 and it'll slow him down quite a bit.
For me, I think just like, hey, take the tier 1.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe not. There comes the Neith ult. Madman Mark taking a huge swing there. Andy to the back line. Circle of protection going to be wasted, although Omega's getting pretty low.
Yeah, Omega's in the front lines here still. g2a Gold going to come out and split things up a bit. Serqet out of this fight for now. They're going to try to find the Hercules, but it looks like there was a shell used perhaps there?
I don't
Or was that a... We'll see what itemization.
Crown? No.
No.
They're pretty similar in visual.
What the hell was that?
Maybe just damage from Zeus?
I guess it was just to mitigate wounds ticking up there, but it's enough to keep him alive. I thought it maybe was a mitigation proc, but no, it is not. And, well, just like that, Cloud9, they are the aggressors, and Denial on their back foot.
For
Less, yet again, Madman Mark.
Definitely Denial overestimated the Fire Giant buff in this situation, not really gaining way to the patience of MLC Stealth, who is willing to sit there and just wait for the absolute perfect time to ult to guarantee a kill. And while they only got one there and they still might lose the tier 1 because of the Fire Giant sustain, they're losing Xbalanque is too big of a loss at this stage.
Yeah, they need him farming right now while they take a 4-man fight with their Fire Giant buff. Instead, they try to 5-man it. They barely get the tier 1 now after an extended engagement. And yeah, I agree. It's the opportunity cost of that 5-man push. Probably not to their favor.
They probably should have been farming. Right, experience gain at this point, if it's an even trade in experience, is in the favor of Denial because Omega's already level 20, right? Force the split push, farm up as much as possible, and try to meet them in the end game. I mean, you have a baby, right, who's going to do a lot in the end game, although that build not going to do great things.
Fun story. I believe this will be the 10th game in which Hercules has been played in the Pro League, and he still will be boasting a 100% win rate if he wins this one. 100% win rate going into this one through 9 games.
Played one time today.
Inclusive of the game with Trickstank earlier.
Yeah, incredible. Came in today 8-0. Largely the strongest character in the SPL.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems pretty cut and dry. And maybe a shocker for some of you out there. Cupid, statistically the worst hunter by quite a large margin in the Pro League. I mean, in fact, one of the worst gods.
Cupid does well against Uller. Cupid does well against Xbalanque, right?
But then Reels just dumpstered 2 Cupids.
Well, I mean, that's
Xbalanque.
Like, that's real.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's real.
And realistically, when we were watching those Cupids play, they weren't playing Cupid. Just like before, Andy didn't play Thanatos. He played Hunbots.
Right. Yeah, right.
You must play the differences in the god. There's not many players that really have many different styles. Omega, no matter who he plays, is playing Warrior, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I will say that Omega is playing Omega, not like...
Fair.
Right.
Fair.
With the example of the Anderson, right? Yeah, he's playing Thanatos like a Hunbots. But Omega's playing just every character like Omega.
See, whereas Barracuda is not playing Hunter right now. Barracuda is playing Neith. He's using the ult well. Yes. He's staying very far behind in team fights. He's not just burning his jump as soon as someone comes on him. He tries to box. He's making sure he's using Unravel, even when he's full health, to increase his chance of boxing well, because it's an attack speed slow. He is playing the god effectively. Snoopy does the same thing, which is why we saw AMC do so well against Onher. Yes, it can be a counter matchup, but only if you play it perfectly. Well,
it's a weakening curse. It's been picked up as the second active for Bacchus. And on paper, that's kind of curious as to why he would buy this, but you look at a Vamana with a Stone of Gaia, it's a tremendous amount of HP 5, plus the HP 5 Aura and MP5 Aura out of the Sovereignty Heart Ward combination. And on top of it all, the Isis Burst Heal.
Yeah,
that's really what this is for, is trying to kind of bait them into overestimating the heal that's going to come out of that Isis ult.
Fire Giant's going to come up as the Gold Fury goes down, again in favor of Cloud9. This time, their fight's going to be massively in their favor, as there's no backdoor nonsense to the Fire Giant this time. Denial not going to have that same level of pressure. And remember, without that Fire Giant buff, which they were still kind of going even in fights with, maybe even losing, it's going to be very hard for them to defend. At this point, for me, Cloud9 shouldn't be gesturing the Fire Giant. They don't need it. With this golden experience advantage, they need to just be pushing hard.
Force Denial to fight them.
I mean, if they just walk up to the tier 2 and place down the Lightning Storm, they get the tier 2.
Right, yeah, I'm agreeing with you here. I mean, they can either force them to fight them at the Fire Giant, or they can just push the base and force them to fight them. One of them potentially throws the game back the other way. The other one, maybe a little bit more reliable. They can maybe back off from a push. But either way, you got to think, if they lose a team fight, it's a Fire Giant going the way of Denial, and this next team fight likely to decide how the next 10 minutes of the game go.
For me, I don't think Best has the damage with this build. I'm looking at Shadow Q, I'm looking at Mark. Can Shadow Q keep Mace alive long enough to get the Circle of Protection burst, and can Mark utilize the Xbalanque endgame? He's got 2 kills on the board, has a decent build. Granted, he is a little bit behind in damage compared to Neith. He should be able to outbox her cleanly.
MLC Stealth, he's got the hot hand here. They've locked Best out.
That's early.
And he's forced into the Sleeping Giant form.
Oh, that's so early.
Yeah, all 5 ultimates still available, but one goes on cooldown now as Vamana's ult is down, and that's enough for Cloud9 to start that Fire Giant up. And Denial, they're gonna let it go. They're gonna let it go. They were just said, hey, if you have a shoot, you can get in there. They stopped the rollout with a Tectonic Rift, and now it's gonna be, let's take a look at old Geb here. Storm's gonna take the sky, he's going to the back line. He's way off the mark there, doesn't have a stun available because he used it in the last engagement, and Andenster has
clean.
Made a little bit of a goof there, but it's going to be fine as they rely on a couple more of their nearly infinite CCs, it seems like, on Cloud9 to secure that fight.
I would love to know who decided to call split push at this stage. I mean, they trade out their support there, and then, oh my god, Omega teleports. They don't even get the tier 2. Oh, Denial misplays there, front to back. Cloud9, I don't think it played exceptionally well there, right? They missed a few abilities. They were put into a weird spot. They were kind of hand-holding, got hit by the big Cataclysm. But for the hand that they were dealt, it ended up in the exact favor they wanted it. They didn't lose the tower, they got a kill, and they got the Fire Giant. Like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, now, especially looking at the Hercules build, Pestilence online, Midgardian Male, he's like lost the capacity to feel feelings anymore. Everything is just like, just neutral. He doesn't know pain. He can't really actually take damage. It's all just a myth. And he's so impossibly tanky right now.
And with that, tier 2 in mid, tier 2 in left will go down. Their lead extends gigantically up to almost 13,000 gold, 14,000 experience, and they will back with an exorbitant amount of gold in hand and a Fire Giant buff attached as well. Omega going to be aggressed on. It's going to be the champion of Rome versus 5.
They're not going to kill him.
Oh, they got him.
Okay, they do. Yeah, Serqet Ultimate. Serqet Ultimate does shut down all healing, so yeah, they're able to secure the kill on Omega, and that's an Omega play. Don't fight anybody for 28 minutes and then die to 5.
Jeff was there. I almost wonder how that would have turned out if Jeff belly flopped a lot of them.
5-man driving strike, maybe. I mean,
Jeff had the line.
I think he goes down there regardless. But they use a lot to kill him, right?
But
like,
think about if he gave him enough time for the mitigate wounds to start working again, right?
Sure.
Timeout here coming out from Cloud9. We had one, of course, from Denial Esports today, evening up the fields here, at least in timeouts. Definitely not in gold, definitely not in experience.
No, what are we sitting at now? I mean, it was basically 10K going to that last engagement, and Cloud9's won a couple of them now. So
still 12-3. I mean, they're far and away ahead. And granted, they did lose the Fire Giant buff on Hercules, but for as much defense as he has, plus mitigate wounds, I can't imagine he's too worried.
Yeah, I mean, look at Cloud9's positioning. They're roaming the
Denial
side of the map.
I was looking at Cloud9's Zeus build here, who is biggest weakness of Zeus right now is that he's very killable. But when you give him a 100 stacked Warlock Sash, that does not remain the case. Yeah. Oh, and I love this.
Combat.
Watch this. Teleport right in. All 5 are right back in the action. Xing out of position. Best out of position, getting a blue buff for some reason at 29 minutes into the game. Cloud9's going to walk into this one for free, and Barracuda's swinging.
MLC Stealth, he's going to beads away the Cataclysm. It only hits him. Turns around, starts firing off the Chain Lightning. Gets a big proc there. Detonates it as well. There's the ultimate. Maybe a little premature. Trying to overreach a bit there. He didn't have his Hunter in position to try to start firing away at this Phoenix, but now Barracuda joins the fight. And left side Phoenix is down. That's the far side Phoenix. The most valuable of them all. Not in gold, but certainly in map pressure.
4 ultimates, I'm sorry, 3 ultimates available for each team still. Granted, Barracuda's ultimate not super useful in team fights, comparatively, though, to the Boulder and Anvil of Dawn, which are massive across the way. 3 major team fight advantage ultimates here. Last Breath going to be very strong, although we did talk about its weakness against Zeus. Best still going to have Colossal Fury, and then finally, Mace to the Face's Circle of Protection is still available as well. But the issue here is that those are all frontline ults. How do they get to the front line?
How did Cloud9 build this kind of advantage in a game with 14 kills with an early game team that's gone 30 minutes? Right? I mean, like, all signs point to this is Denial's game. The late game composition, low kill count, high game number.
You know, Barracuda using Neith to shut down Xbalanque's ability to farm. Huge,
yeah.
Right? Best not getting the same level as Gold because he didn't get the Gold Fury. Xing into the back line, gonna get picked off. He used the ambush to get in, used Deathbane to get out, and then get sent back to the base. Mace very low here. Best not really having an escape path. Will he go down here? Detonate coming back off cooldown in a second. Does he have the stacks on? No, it looks like he'll escape just barely, but the remaining members are all getting turned onto their heels here as, for some reason, Madman Mark is just completely out of position.
He was trying to chase down the Thor on the backside.
Where are you going, buddy? Yo. Back to the base of the box.
A gift for Barracuda there, set up by Andenster, and this could very well decide the game now as the rest of the team's getting piled in on Gebs getting knocked up. The Chain Lightning is there, the Detonate, and down you go. Shadow Q, MLC Stealth finds himself another kill. The story for me on this one, there was a Serqet.
You know, I was going to wear my Serqet tie today, and I didn't.
Where was Serqet this game? Like, one kill in the mid lane early on, a second one on a lazy back, and then nothing.
They didn't invade this game, right? That's what it is they didn't get Xing ahead like they normally do. He was 3-2-2. I mean, he was the only person on his team with a positive KDA, but he didn't equate it to anything. What it comes down to is Barracuda shut down Mark so badly that Mark was irrelevant, right?
It just looked like Denial fell apart to me.
And for once, they didn't have enough damage to kill Jeff Hinla every single time like they wanted.
That's right. I mean, and as we mentioned, right, it was Barracuda shoving waves in the tower against Madman Mark for like 9 minutes before they bothered to rotate the jungler over there and find a kill. And it's a Serqet versus a Neith. I mean, that's damn near free. I mean, like, she has really no options to deal with the Serqet. Like, you root her, great, she has 2 jumps.
And you know what we're not talking about? We're not talking about the Zeus, which was instrumental. So many early kills. We're going to take a look at the first one of the game here where MLC Stealth is just completely unimpressed by anything they have.
Well, this one is Bacchus. Look at that. The initiation, the Thor wall's beautiful as well. The anti-heal from the Bacchus on the burp to shut down the heal from circle protection. MLC Stealth just presses 4 and 3.
It was enough.
It was enough. He gets the kill, and it should be no surprise to any of you. The player of this game is the one and only, the MVP of the World Championships, MLC Stealth.
I mean, I'm going to take a look at the player damage here. Yeah, he was on top. 20,000 damage this game. Next highest, it looks like, is 14 from Barracuda, so he was far and away. Like we talked about, he doesn't have a stun anymore, right? Doesn't have a great escape after the Aegis shield, which is his 2, was nerfed, right? Regular Aegis pendant, Aegis, greater Aegis, all nerfed as well, all hurt Zeus directly. But one thing that didn't get changed is how much absurd damage still remains in this character.
That's what I love about this performance overall. Is it's a very cooldown into Warlock Sash into Obsidian Shard, very standard kind of build-up. It wasn't like he built first item Bancrofts into into power boots to Hootie and Obsidian, right? It wasn't like some kind of all-in damage build. It was a standard methodical build from Smite. Or from Stealth, and he played it really nearly perfectly and gets himself a victory on Zeus, which is hard to come by.
Now, when we see Denial win, what they do right is they control the jungle. This game, not quite what happened here. Cloud9 had a little bit too much control over the map. In fact, a 20% increase over map control overall.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, that's the biggest disparity we've seen. More like game 1 than game 2. Game 2 is very close. Denial barely eking them out, but here, story this one, mid camps, 84%, 27 of 32 of the mid camps go to Cloud9. That's Zeus for you.
Yeah.
What do we say at the beginning of the game? What does Zeus do? Mid camps.
Yeah, I'll throw a Chain Lightning if you fight those, and I will kill all of you.
Yeah, you will all die now because we also have a Thor. We also have, they drafted 4 gods with tons of stuns and a Zeus.
Yeah, right? And you 4 protect 1.
Yeah.
It's the same thing they did in the
first
game.
4 frontliners and a Xbalanque. I mean, they've found a little fold in their game yet again, has this Cog Prime into Cloud9 team, and they've carved out a nice little strat for themselves. But we do have the one and only Barracuda on the line. How are you, bud?
Hey guys, I'm doing amazing. How about you?
Listen to him, old Johnny S here. Brandon's pretty happy, but so I'm not sure if you heard that last little part of the analysis, Barracuda, but we were kind of looking at what you guys are running. Game 1, really 2 and 3, all kind of look like a little bit of 4 protect 1 strategy. In game 1, it was a lot of frontliners and Magi's Blessing Thanatos for the setups. In game 3, it was basically 4 protecting the Zeus, a lot of stuns built around him. Can you talk a little bit about the strategy? Is that something you guys have been working on? Is it just what the picks and bans lent to you? Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Game 1, we were kind of focused on just protecting Xbalanque. And game 3, it was protecting Zeus. That's why I picked Neith.
Yeah, that's what we saw as well.
I didn't see that. Bart saw that.
Oh, yeah.
It was good analysis.
I say we.
I'm just like, they picked a Neith again. That's weird.
The royal we.
Because anyone on our team can carry in any game. So as long as we protect the person that's supposed to be carrying, we will win every game. And game 2, we had a really bad team fight at speed. and then you can't really fight Isis Thor from ahead. Like, that's just, it's a mess. And so we had to play super defensive that game. And Hades from behind is obviously garbage. He can never go in. There's no way, like, there's no way we can just, like, oh yeah, Hades, go in here into an Isis Thor. We'll win this fight, don't worry.
Yeah, that's what we saw. Yeah, we were calling it like there's two types of Hades ultimates. There's the I've made a terrible mistake, and there's the I'm screaming Pillar of Agony ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's he gonna do against a fed Isis? Like, it's just garbage for him. And I think that was a fault in our picks game 2. I think game 1 and game 3 we played exceptionally well, but in game 2 we should have had more, I guess, discipline in our fights and been more controlled. And hopefully going into the future we will fix that. And I'm pretty excited. I'm actually really excited when we beat Dana.
So speaking of a fed Isis, why did you let that pick through all 3 games? I mean, obviously you don't reveal any high-level strategy if you don't have to, but just in general, I mean, it's a known signature pick for Mace of the Face.
This is such a loaded question. Go ahead.
Yeah, but why Isis through all 3 games? I mean, I guess you can't really say because he's not really that good, but I mean, why really?
My team is not scared of Isis at all. If we control her, like we did in game 1, like we did in game 3. Game 3, she maxed her actives before she got any item after boots. What is an Isis going to do in team fights when she has max actives and boots?
I don't know, cycle of protection?
Run protection, and then die to Zeus, Thor, Neith. Like, what? You can't do anything to that. So, I think as long as we play intelligently against Isis, we won't lose against it. But game 2, obviously, we played like idiots. Out of hand.
So tell me about Zeus pick. Just quickly, is this a strategy, practice, planned, or was this MLC just like, I want to play Zeus?
Kind of a mix of both, to be honest. We kind of, whenever we are doing our picks and bans, it's kind of a team discussion, and then it is, I want to play this god this game. And that's kind of what it was for us game 3. We had a lot of damage, we had a lot of control, and I could have played a hyper carry, or Stealth could have played a hyper carry. Stealth went the hyper carry, so I went with the more supportive ADC pick. If I keep Stealth alive, we win the team fights. I was thinking like on her and Neith there at the end, and I think Neith provided more to the team comp that we were playing than on her would, and would provide more appeal for Stealth. And with a Neith ult in mid, like you saw, we got Zeus ahead. He was 3-0. Like that's pretty much GG. Like Isis can't come back from Neith, Thor, Zeus, Bacchus ults in mid, so it's really scary for Isis. And that was kind of why we drafted that game 3.
All right, well, final question here. I want to flash back a little bit to the regional lands when we had the now TSM roster defeating the old team Dignitas roster. And when I asked Divios about his start, he told me that him and Anderson sat down and he figured out how to just push Xing and Lassus away from the mid camps, how to force them into using Hand of the Gods, and how to invade their jungle. It seemed to me like they were the absolute masters of the invade at that point. And then every single time that we've seen Cloud9 this season falter, it's been the early game. So where are we going to see these strategies come back? When are we going to stop seeing you guys get invaded? Where are the wards? Tell us about how game 2 started and what you're going to do to fix it.
I don't think that is a problem.
Wow.
I know that might sound ridiculous, but from my point of view, it's not an issue because
it's on the other side of the map.
It's on the other side of the map, so obviously I'm ADC. I'm securing my buffs. I don't really care what they're doing. Like, they can do whatever they want. They can die. But like 100% serious, there's no way we could have fought them those games at level 1.
Okay.
They're Denial drafts an insane level 1 comp every single game. If they 5-man group, they 5-man group. They take whatever they want. And as long as we don't lose to cheese, we'll win.
Wow.
Strong words out of the man himself, Barracuda. Any final call-outs or shout-outs you got, John?
I would like to thank my teammates in Cloud9 for being awesome lately. I'm so glad we don't suck.
Lately.
No. Dude, week 1 we were terrible. I would like to thank my teammates for having the devotion to scrim so we don't suck anymore. But yeah, I'm really happy. Thank you, obviously, to the fish tank in chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for supporting us so much. And thank you, DM and Bart, for excellent casting.
You got it, buddy. You guys. A little bit of a backhanded compliment out of Barracuda there. Congratulations to Cloud9 to take out Denial and make their path to the LAN a hell of a lot easier with this win. They now control their own destiny. And, well, they play – let's take a look at the NA standings as well.
Let's just look at this.
Yeah, let's just take a look at them. But they continue to go on.
Oh, wait, that's not the whole screen. We have new ones.
They continue to go on basically to now face the two bottom standing members in the Pro League. Yeah. So Cloud9 now only has to beat Cognitive and Enemy. I mean, I say only. Those are pretty damn good teams, professional level teams, but they've struggled so far. And if Cloud9 can secure 2 more victories, or really 1 more, they're in. So they've done a good thing here by beating Denial. Yeah,
we have an interesting dynamic building up here. Denial with 2-2, and not in a great spot, right? I mean, it's going to come down to, does TSM or Cloud9 lose a game? And then Denial has a chance back in it. Wait, I didn't summon those yet.
Huzzah! It's the EU standings as well as we see them updated after today. Trig moves to the uncontested #1 overall, and look at that, 7-3. Man, they don't lose very often.
Both of them, same thing, 7-3.
Yeah, 7-3 between the top 2. And it's Fnatic at 4-2, Dig at 4-3 in the second and third position, respectively here. And Titan struggling a bit this season.
Yeah, 4-4 right now. I'm really predicting that Fnatic makes it through. With the way that we saw them play last week, I would be very afraid to fight them if I had them remaining.
Seems like it's them or Dignitas that are really kind of contending for the same spot. But let's take a look at what we got coming up for you. Not tomorrow, but Saturday and Sunday. The action continues here from the Pro League Season 2, week number 4. Into the 28th, which is Saturday, we have Dignitas and LDNC.
Who's Dig's final week?
AFK versus Enemy Esports in the Saturday matchup, or I'm sorry, the game second North American matchup on Saturday. Dignitas has yet to play Stars?
Titan?
Maybe it is Titan.
Maybe it means Titan. Team Dignitas going to have a little bit harder of a time. They fight London Conspiracy, who are known for upsets, but Fnatic fighting the bottom-seeded upcoming Stars has a little bit easier of a road.
Yeah, they will have a bit easier than Dignitas, who, they have London Conspiracy, who seems to be a bit of a contender still. Team Solo Mid and Cognitive Gaming must win for COG if they want to keep their hopes alive. TSM, as you mentioned, though, they don't look like they're that beatable.
For the way that they played last week, if anyone even takes a game on them, I will be extremely surprised.
Well, we'll see how it all shakes out, guys. The call on Saturday is going to be me and Brandon. Yet again, Sunday it's going to be F. and Scott, so be sure to tune back in for those.
Again with your P's and B's.
We'll have lots more P's and B's, a lot more GPM and CS and all the other wonderful acronyms that come along with MOBA. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. That does it for us. You can find me on Twitter at hi-rez Bart. You can find him at JuiceCM. And thanks for tuning in on Thursday Night Smite. I bid you adieu.